Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Thursday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk all things Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and today's report includes the Steelers dodged a bullet by trading away this player. The Steelers named their 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. These two Penguins players have been selected for the Four Nations Faceoff, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the first news story of the day. The Pittsburgh Steelers dodged a bullet by trading away this player. Looking back at this past NFL offseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers made the most one-sided trade in their favor throughout the entire league. That trade was sending wide receiver Diontae Johnson to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for corner Dante Jackson and a draft pick swap. Let's look at how both players from that trade are now doing, starting with Johnson. The former Toledo Rocket is now on his second team of the season, as the Panthers traded him to the Baltimore Ravens at the trade deadline. Since that trade on October 29th, Johnson has played a total of 39 snaps across 4 games for the Ravens, with 1 reception on 5 targets for 6 yards, 3 drops, and now this. News came down Wednesday afternoon that the Ravens are suspending Johnson for 1 game without pay for conduct detrimental to the team. This means that the 28-year-old will not play in the Ravens' Week 15 matchup against the Giants after their Week 14 bye. In a further explanation of the suspension, Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta released the following statement. We have made the difficult decision to suspend Diontae Johnson for our upcoming game against the New York Giants for conduct detrimental to the team. Diontae's suspension stems from refusing to enter our game against the Philadelphia Eagles. There is no known reason as to why Johnson refused to go into the Ravens' last game, especially with Baltimore's number 2 wide receiver Rashad Bateman getting injured. This also explains Ravens head coach John Harbaugh's ominous answer from a couple of days ago on whether Johnson could replace Bateman. As for the Steelers' side of that trade from the offseason, Dante Action Jackson has been lights out in Pittsburgh. This season, Jackson has played in all 12 games for the Steelers, recording 29 tackles, 8 pass defenses, and a career-high 5 interceptions, which is tied for 3rd most in the league right now. Once again, the con artist Omar Khan made another masterclass trade. The Steelers traded away a negative influence in their locker room who is now causing headaches for their division rival and has the same number of suspensions as receptions for a guy who's having a career year and has a decent chance of making the Pro Bowl. That sounds like a huge win-win for the Steelers. The Steelers named their 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. This Thursday morning, the Pittsburgh Steelers, along with the other 31 NFL franchises, announced their nominee for the 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year award. The Walter Payton Man of the Year award is one of the NFL's highest honors, recognizing players who excel in their play on the field and in their positive impact in the community off the field. The Steelers' nominee for this year's award is defensive lineman Larry Ogunjobi. Ogunjobi does a lot for the Pittsburgh community, including hosting free youth football camps, back-to-school events, holiday dinners, and other events through his First of Many Foundation. Ogunjobi becoming the Steelers' nominee for this award was revealed to him earlier this week when Steelers defensive captain and last year's Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner Cam Hayward announced it to the team. Humbled by receiving this nomination, Ogunjobi said, "We've got an obligation to give. God has blessed us in tremendous ways. I feel like our opportunity to give back to the people is big. When you have the opportunity to put the light somewhere other than yourself, you have a chance to really make a difference. Let this be an example. Anybody can do it. You guys can do it. Keep striving for greatness." Should Ogunjobi win, he will be the 3rd player currently on the Steelers roster to have won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, joining the aforementioned Hayward and quarterback Russell Wilson, who won it in 2020 with the Seattle Seahawks. In February before the Super Bowl, Ogunjobi and the other 31 nominees from across the league will travel to the NFL Honors Ceremony in New Orleans, where the winner of the award will be announced. Congratulations to Larry Ogunjobi on becoming the Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year award nominee. Pat Freiermuth makes Christmas merry and bright for some special kids. Another Pittsburgh player who is following Larry Ogunjobi's message of giving back to the community is tight end Pat Freiermuth. On Wednesday, Freiermuth partnered with the UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh's Family Care Connection Centers to surprise children with a holiday shopping spree at a local Target. It was heartening to see the Steelers tight end spend time with the kids as they had a blast shopping for toys, games, and other things. One thing is for sure, watching Freiermuth and his other teammates constantly do these acts of kindness shows that the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the best organizations when it comes to community outreach and spreading holiday cheer. A former Steelers tight end announces his retirement. Speaking of tight ends, on Wednesday afternoon, a former Pittsburgh Steelers tight end who spent 2 seasons with the organization announced his retirement from the NFL. Eric Ebron announced his retirement on Instagram yesterday, saying, "A career is a career. I'm proud of me. Thankful for everyone along this journey. #retired. The former Pro Bowler played 8 seasons in the NFL, the last 2 of which were with the Steelers in 2020 and 2021. In his 2 seasons in Pittsburgh, Ebron played in 23 games, recording 68 receptions for 642 yards and 6 touchdowns. Congratulations on a successful football career, Eric Ebron, and best of luck in retirement. These 2 Pittsburgh Penguins players have been selected for the Four Nations Faceoff. In February, the current NHL season will be put on pause for nearly 2 weeks for the Four Nations Faceoff. In case you haven't heard of it already, the Four Nations Faceoff is a round-robin format tournament with NHL players representing the countries of Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the United States. This is pretty much a warm-up for the 2026 Olympics, since the NHL hasn't participated in that for a while, and will be replacing the NHL's All-Star Week. With that being said, all 4 nations finalized their rosters for this tournament on Wednesday, and 2 Penguins players made the cut for their respective teams. To no surprise, Penguins captain Sidney Crosby made the roster for Team Canada, and defenseman Erik Karlsson made the roster for Team Sweden. 2 Pens players who some fans think were snubbed from their country's rosters include forward Brian Rust for Team USA and forward Rickard Rakell for Team Sweden. Others representing the Penguins organization in the Four Nations Faceoff include Pens head coach Mike Sullivan as head coach for Team USA, Pens assistant coach David Quinn as an assistant coach for Team USA, and Pens general manager Kyle Dubas as director of player personnel for Team Canada, to name a few. The Four Nations Faceoff takes place from February 12th to February 20th and will be held in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and Boston, Massachusetts, USA. Congratulations to all representing the Pittsburgh Penguins organization on your involvement in the Four Nations Faceoff. Multiple Penguins, past and present, show up for the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Before they played the Florida Panthers on Tuesday night, the Pittsburgh Penguins held a special pregame ceremony honoring the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2024. That ceremony was just a little practice for the class of 2024 as they were officially inducted into the hall at the Omni William Penn Hotel in downtown Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. Once again, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2024 consisted of the 2002 U.S. Paralympic sled hockey team, the late Frederick McLaughlin, Brianna Decker, and former Penguins players Matt Cullen and Kevin Stevens. The induction dinner and ceremony, which can be watched on the USA Hockey YouTube channel, saw individuals with different backgrounds and accomplishments get acknowledged. What was very cool to see was the 2 Penguins being inducted in Cullen and Stevens, receiving support from old teammates and friends. Per the Trip Sports' Seth Rorabaugh, Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby, Craig Patrick, Mike Sullivan, Ray Shiro, Jim Rutherford, Ron Francis, Mark Recchi, Chris Kunitz, Brian Rust, and more were in attendance to recognize their peers. Seeing such high pedigree names make an appearance for Cullen and Stevens shows just how much the 2 meant to the Penguins organization and the city of Pittsburgh. Once again, congratulations to Matt Cullen, Kevin Stevens, and the rest of the 2024 class on being inducted into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. And finally, Paul Skenes is already becoming involved in MLB government. It's been a little over a year and a half since he was drafted, and just over 6 months since he made his Major League debut, but Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Paul Skenes is still receiving titles from around the league. However, this acknowledgement might be one of the biggest that Skenes has received, as on Wednesday night, the 22-year-old was elected for a leadership role within the MLB Players Association. Skenes and 7 other players were elected to 2-year terms in various roles in the MLBPA's executive subcommittee. The National League Rookie of the Year joins approximately 1,200 other players in representing player interests in collective bargaining negotiations, union governance, and shaping the future of the MLB Players Association. Skenes being elected as one of the association's newest members at such an early stage in his career shows just how mature he is and how big of an influence he has on the game. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a jam-packed Thursday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news.